Howdy, folks. Howdy. I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. What is it? Thursday? Good Thursday morning. Check this out. Like, share, and subscribe if you like to get biker news and all that sort of thing. This one is an interesting one. The this one this one was interesting. So the way it came across to me, and we did this story before, and I don't think I ever realized what was going on because it came out as biker gang enforcer kills family, and the way I understood it was a female biker and club enforcer for a female motorcycle club got into an argument with another female who had a lover that was a female or something like that and killed the whole family. So I always thought that this was female on female. And that's because of the messed up way that I don't want to use a cliche term like woke or something. It's just the political correctness of what goes on these days. That you don't know what's going on. Your mind, when you hear this story, you're gonna be like, what the hell? What's going on over there in California? What the hell is going on? So let me just bring this up. Biker gang enforcer sentenced to life in prison for brutal murders. And this is where it gets my bros. This is where it gets weird. Because it's how the story starts off. A Bay Area woman and alleged biker gang enforcer was sentenced to life in prison last week for triple murder of a family in 2016. And you're like, did you say a Bay Area woman? Biker gang enforcer? Where does that happen at? Are there any Bay Area women biker gang enforcers? Is this a thing? Can this really happen? You ask yourself. And you get deeper into the article. So you're like, oh, that's interesting. Wow. Dana Rivers, 68. And then you're like, a 68-year-old biker gang enforcer woman. She must be bad. A bad B word. Go ahead, bad B word. Go ahead. Let's read about this 68-year-old gang enforcer, biker club gang enforcer woman. I got to know more. So they say Dana Rivers, 68, was found guilty on November 15, 2022, of murdering Charlotte Reed, Patricia Wright, and the couple's 19-year-old son, Benny Toto Diambu. Right. Benny Toto Diambu Wright. In Oakland in 2016, according to the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. And you're like, wow, she killed a lot of people. And I remember when we did that story. During a hearing Wednesday, Alameda County Judge Scott Patton handed down a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Patton said it was the most depraved crime he'd seen in his 33 years working in the criminal justice system, the Mercury News reported. The DA's office didn't respond to SF Gates, that's the people that did this article, their request for comment. During the trial last year, Rivers initially made several claims, including that she was legally insane during the time of the murders and that she acted in self-defense, the Mercury News reported. But on January 6, 2023, Patton concluded that Rivers was legally sane when she murdered the family. And so this was, this was the story that I was going to report. Okay, so she did all these things, and so she is getting ready to get her butt put in jail, for a while. But as I was trying to do a little bit more research, I ran into a couple articles that said something like transgender activist sentenced to to sentenced in biker crime. Here, let me try to find that article. Here we go, right here. So, prominent trans activist sentenced to life in prison for murder. And so I'm asking myself, hey, JB, what in the hell is a trans activist? Is that a person that's trans themselves, or is that a person that's just an activist for trans people? And I don't know. So I looked at 3 or 4 different articles, and they all kept saying she this and she that and she this and she the other thing, until I ran across this one. And it took like 5 or 6 articles before I could find the real damn deal. People telling it like it really TI is. And so here's it. Here's how it's supposed to read. A prominent trans activist has been sentenced for the 2016 triple homicide of a California lesbian couple and their son, Dana Rivers, born David Chester Warfield. Aha! There's more to this story than meets the eye. There's more to this story than these people over here are talking about. She did this, she murdered somebody, she did that, she did the other. And a Bay Area woman, alleged biker gang enforcer. But it gets a little bit crazier, man. When you hear all of this stuff going on, you just got to ask yourself, self, what the hell is going on? So the prominent trans activist, born David Chester Warfield. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, well, he must have had a sex change operation or something. Okay, that's why they're calling him a woman. Has been handed a life sentence without the possibility of parole. It's a horrible thing to sentence someone to die in prison, the judge says. I don't take that lightly. This was Judge Scott Patton. He said that during the court hearing. But this is the most depraved crime I've ever handled in the criminal justice system in 33 years. Frankly, you deserve to spend the rest of your life in prison. The sentencing comes months after Rivers, 68 years old, had been found guilty of the murders in November of last year. Rivers was denied a motion for a new trial, though his attorney, you mean she didn't have a sex change operation? She's trans person. Okay. Okay, so in this article, they say his attorney. Then this is interesting. We find a little bit more about it. Did I lose my place? Oh, I hate it when I lose my place. His attorney, here we are back here, had attempted to argue prosecutorial misconduct. Judge Patton dismissed the issues raised, labeling them trivial and frankly quite ridiculous, while noting the evidence for the Rivers' guilt was overwhelming. Rivers' crimes date back to the November 11th of 2016. So here's the sordid story. When police were called in response to the sound of gunshots being fired outside the home of the lesbian couple, and the lesbian couple was Patricia Wright and Charlotte Reed in Oakland, California. When authorities arrived, they found Rivers covered in blood and gasoline and fleeing from the house, which he had set ablaze. Aye. When discovered by police, Rivers had been heading towards his black Harley Davidson motorcycle, which was parked outside of the home with the keys left in the ignition. When police searched the Harley, which Rivers affectionately referred to as Barbie, we all have a name for our motorcycle. His name was Barbie. They found blood on the bike and a bloody knife in his saddlebag. A further search of Rivers' person revealed that he was in possession of a bloody screwdriver, a knife, brass knuckles, bullets, pepper spray, and an iPod belonging to Wright's son, Benny, according to court documents. Here, for my viewing audience, we have a picture of Barbie and the convicted, born David Chester Warfield, now called Dana Rivers. And I guess this is him and his long hair and stuff. So there Dana is. Examiners found that Charlotte Reed had been stabbed and bludgeoned dozens of times in addition to having gunshot wounds. Her partner, Patricia Wright, had been shot twice, and her son, Benny Diambu Wright, who had just graduated from Berkeley High School, had been shot in the heart. The bodies of Wright, Reed, and Diambu Wright were found inside the burning wreckage. Rivers was quickly taken into custody and booked at the Alameda jail, where he has remained ever since. This is going to get even more interesting. According to police reports, Rivers began to make spontaneous statements about his, and they put his in brackets here, involvement in the murders. While being arrested, Rivers ultimately confessed to killing the two women and their son, but entered a plea of not guilty on charges of triple homicide in 2017. The case had first been set for trial in 2019, but was repeatedly delayed in order to accommodate an investigation into Rivers' mental health. The trial finally began on October 31st, 2022. For my viewing audience, there's the couple that was murdered, the lesbian couple, and the son, Benny Diambu Wright, who just had graduated high school. So these are two women and a young man, maybe just 18. Prosecutor Abigail Mulvihill of the Alameda County District Attorney's Office, wrote in a trial brief that Reed had first met Rivers at the Veterans Affairs Center in Menlo Park 2016. Now, this is where it kind of gets sorted. The year before, Rivers had joined an all-female motorcycle gang called the Deviants. Okay, so that's interesting. Rivers, this guy here, had joined an all-female motorcycle club. Okay, all right, we'll go further. A motorcycle gang, they say. Excuse me, they said motorcycle gang. We say motorcycle club because we like to call clubs. Called the Deviants, which had ties to the Hells Angels. Remember, we did that story about the all-female. I think it was a 1%er, all-female 1%er motorcycle club, something like that. Remember that story? According to court testimony, Rivers was referred to as the enforcer of the gang, and he used the pseudonym Edge. I like that. That's a cool name, Edge. Knife's edge, switchblade edge. I'm on the edge. I like that, Edge. So he was the enforcer of an all-female motorcycle club, and he called himself Edge. In February 2016, Charlotte Reed began spending time with the Deviants. So Charlotte Reed is the one here on the right. She began spending time with the Deviants, but she decided to leave after 3 months because it became, like many motorcycle clubs become, too political for her. And she was tired of that BS, according to the records. You know, some people, they don't want y'all's club BS. You can have that. I'll just go on. I've told you about this. People vote with their feet, and they go on. I'm just going to go on. That ain't good enough for some people, though. Some people get crazy about it. They don't want to let you go on. And that's what happened in this case. In February of 2016, Charlotte Reed began spending time. It became too political for her. And after she left the club, Reed began to experience threats against her safety. Because some of these people are such babies, you can't leave them alone. It affects them personally when you decide to go on. The trial brief presented by Mulvihill claims that there was backlash from the club for her departure, and a friend of Reed's recalled seeing Rivers just sitting and staring at Miss Reed on one occasion at the Menlo Park. Prior to the slayings, Rivers was a prominent trans activist known for fighting against gender discrimination. And this is that picture of her up here. What did I just do? This is a picture of now Rivers. This is a picture of Rivers when he became famous as a transgender activist. Okay, does that make sense? So he had become famous. He had gained this notoriety for fighting against gender discrimination. In 1999, after he was fired from Center High School in Sacramento County, California, for openly discussing his sexuality and the importance of gender self-determination in a class with students. And this is where people get mad because they want to be able to determine what their students are taught and our teachers talk about. And they get mad when folks bring this stuff to the school buildings. Like a lot of time people will say, well, you're against us and all this, that. And no one's against you living your life the way you live your life. But people are against you bringing it into the school building for kids that maybe shouldn't be thinking about or talking about or dealing with that. Maybe the parents want to deal with their children about that. Members of the Center Unified School Board who voted for Rivers' dismissal argued that the decision had nothing to do with his gender identity. They instead cited concerns for the rights of parents, some of whom had complained to the school administrators that Rivers had been discussing inappropriate and sexual aspects of his transition with students. And you can't be mad at a parent that doesn't want that shit in the high school, grade school, or whatever. Especially without being told, no letter sent home, no nothing. According to a 1999 article in the New York Times, one parent stated that Rivers had told the children he had been sodomized as a youth and that he always felt he was a woman trapped in a man's body and that he was going to be changing into a woman in the fall. The parents said he should have gotten permission from them to say this to their children. I just can't imagine how that comes up as a discussion in class. We're talking about algebra. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And oh, by the way, I was sodomized and I'm going to change myself into a woman. Whoa! Excuse me, but what does A squared plus B squared equal? So I think it's fitting that some of the parents got mad. Following the administration's decision not to renew his employment, Rivers subsequently initiated a widely publicized discrimination lawsuit that launched his career as a trans activist and resulted in a compensatory award of $150,000. Well, you know, that's California. They sue there. That's what people do. Cali is the sue place. You can be sued over there. And and you can win. He appeared on the Today Show and Good Morning America and even had been profiled in the New York Times. quickly elevating his profile as a respected LGBT advocate. Rivers was a keynote speaker for the National Center for Lesbian Rights as well as for the Tiffany Club, an organization founded to promote the political interests of those with gender confusion. Rivers also spoke as a guest lecturer on several universities, including Stanford and UC Davis. Those are big schools. And served as a board member for the International Foundation for Gender Education. So you ain't expecting him to be killing nobody. Upon the announcement of Rivers' sentencing today, women's rights advocate Kara Dansky took to Twitter to celebrate the news, writing, "For now, justice has prevailed." Upon the announcement, that's what she did. And Dansky noted reports that the mood in the courtroom had been intense and dramatic, and the judge allegedly sent Rivers to San Quentin, a men's prison for processing. Right? Because that's where you're supposed to send a man? To San Quentin? Men's prison for processing? Right? I mean, that is right, right? Thank you. Thank you. No, that's not right. That's not what has ultimately happened. Yeah. This is crazy. This is Are we woke yet? If not, you're getting ready to be. So Kara says, this is a woman's rights advocate. She quoted the judge. The judge said, "It's a horrible thing to sentence someone to die in prison. I don't think it lightly. This is the most depraved crime I've ever handled in the criminal justice system in my 33 years. Frankly, you deserve to spend the rest of your life in sentence." So she said, friends report that the mood in the courtroom was intense and dramatic. The judge is reported to have said that Rivers would be sent to San Quentin for processing. It remains to be seen whether he will be held in a man's or woman's prison. For now, justice has prevailed. What the hell is Kara talking about? What the hell is Kara talking about? It remains to be seen whether he will be in a man's or a woman's prison. I was like, what the hell? What you talking about, Willis? Well, turns out, under current California law, and you guys know I used to live out there, right? I went to high school in California. I grew up there in many ways. I spent many years there. I was in the Navy there for a whole entire career. I was a Californian for a while. So I understand how California, but I haven't been there like I haven't lived there in 22 years. And under current California law, Rivers will likely find his way into a women's correctional institution. Yeah. Due to his legal sex being female. Yeah. Yeah. And how can his legal sex possibly be female? Because California has one of the most liberal gender self-identification policies in the country, something that has become a point of contention for women's rights advocates. SB 132, also known as the Transgender Respect Agency and Dignity Act, it sounds cool. I mean, it sounds really good on the face. Like, why wouldn't you want a transgender respect agency and dignity organization? Everyone needs a little dignity, don't they? The Transgender Respect Agency and Dignity Act was signed into effect in January 2021 by California Governor Gavin Newsom. This law provides inmates housing based on their self-declared gender identity status. Oh, wait a minute. You're telling me I can self-declare, I can roll up on y'all tomorrow over at the prison yard and be like, you know, I'm really feeling like I'm a woman right now. I am self-identifying myself as a woman today. And I want my housing changed. I want it changed. I want my housing changed. I want to go be where the women are. Which I don't think is a bad idea. Well, sir, you're convicted of mass rape. You've raped 400 women. You think we're going to put you over where the women are? Yes! Senate Bill 132, the Transgender Respect Agency and Dignity Act says that I must be provided housing based on what I identify as. And right now, I'm identifying straight woman. So put me over there where the girls are, bro. I'm going. Oh, where's my lipstick? Almost immediately after this bill was signed into a law, almost immediately, they say, and let me get you back on the page. After the legal guideline went into effect, California correctional centers were hit with people like me. Hundreds of transfer requests from male inmates seeking movement into female facilities. Because if you're going to be a damn fool, I'm going to be one with you. I want to get out from all around these hard legs anyway. Send me where the girls are, bro. Almost immediately, they were hit with hundreds of transfer requests from male inmates seeking movement into women facilities. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation has previously confirmed to Redux, this is the folks that did this article, that prison transfer requests are based entirely off a gender identity questionnaire that could be issued during reception or requested by an inmate at any time during the incarceration. And here is the form. Reason for completion: A, requested by the inmate, or B, over here, requested by center intake. So the inmate can request a form, or the center can request a form to be completed during reception, center intake, and or when the inmate requests to change responses. I guess you could just go back and forth. The following questions have been established. I need my official voice. The following questions have been established to assist CDCR in facilitating respectful communication and determining appropriate housing and services for all inmates. You may consider the questions to be very personal because they relate to your gender identity. However, the answers you provide will play a vital role in appropriately assessing your needs. Although not mandatory, your participation will assist in determining the most appropriate housing and services for you. You should also know that regardless of how you answer these questions today, you can request to change your answers in the future. And if you choose not to answer any of these questions, you will not be disciplined for refusing to answer. 1. Which of the following gender identities do you most often use to describe yourself? Male, female, non-binary, or no response? 2. Do you identify as transgender, non-binary, or intersex? Yes, no, no response. 3. What pronouns should people use when they are referring to you? Check all that apply. He, him, his, they, them, theirs, she, her, hers, or no preference. And 4, what honorific or title should people use when they are addressing you? Check all that apply. Mr., Mrs., No preference or none. Hmm. You know, I remember when I first got on TikTok. I was new to TikTok. This was like less than a year ago, and they had on there, "What are your pronouns?" I was I was like, "What the hell do they mean? I don't understand what your pronouns are. I don't understand what. What do you mean? What are your pronouns? Pronouns are pronouns." And it was like, "No, what are your pronouns?" And I was like, "What? I don't understand." And then I read it: he, him, his; they, them, theirs; she, her, hers. And I was like, "Well, he, him, his, of course. Like, why would they?" So that was my first time ever seeing a question like that, and now I see it again, and now I understand completely what it's for. The questionnaire, they say, is a form with short series of questions in which inmates can declare their pronouns, honorifics, and gender identity. This is my first time. I never seen the word honorifics before. That's a interesting word. I've never seen it before. What is an honorific? Let's ask the thing.
Honorific.
Honorific. A title, a word implying or expressing high status, politeness, or respect. He will be able to put the honorific after his name. Okay, so that's what an honorific is.
Honorific.
So you can tell it what your high status should be called. Male inmates do not need to identify as transgender to request a transfer, and can simply identify as gender nonconforming or non-binary. So you don't even have to say, "I feel like I'm a woman on the inside." You can you don't have to, you don't even have to lie about it. Like, "I've been feeling really womanish lately. Let me over there where the girls are, please. I just really need to get there. Where's my lipstick?" You don't have to do that. You can go in there all hard. "Yeah, I want to be where the women's are." Why? Because I'm gender non-conforming, bro, and I'm non-binary. And to be honest with you, this is Black Dragon. I don't know what the hell non-binary means. You guys find out. Black Dragon, you're so smart. Not really. I don't know any of this stuff. Non-binary. Meaning. Well, it looks like somebody else looked this up before. Non-binary people may identify as an intermediate or separate third gender. Huh. Interesting. What is the third gender? Identify with more than one gender. Okay. No gender, or have a fluctuating gender identity. I guess going back and forth. Gender identity is separate from sexual or romantic orientation. Non binary people have various sexual orientations. So there you go. You can go in there and just say, "I'm non binary," and they got to move your housing. Male inmates do not need to identify, I said that, or as transgender to request a trial. All they got to do is say gender non-conforming or non-binary. Last year, this paper here reported that a pedophile who had molested a 4-year-old girl had been moved to the California Institution for Women despite having been denied a gender and name change and still legally being a male. Okay. So this is why you couldn't get the real story from the newspapers. You had to go through like 4 or 5 newspapers before you realized a man murdered a family, a woman, her partner, wife, or lover, and her son or their son. an entire family unit murdered by a guy belonging to an all-female motorcycle club. Well, I guess it can't be all-female. They got that wrong. But he walked in there and he murdered that family. And they say he murdered the family because the woman decided she no longer wanted to prospect for their motorcycle club. And you might think that's crazy. But I have seen it before. I have seen people go so crazy over losing a prospect, like they take it personal. I don't want to mess with your janky ass butt anymore, or your janky ass club. And now you got people threatening to kill your life. It happened a whole nother motorcycle club. The prospect left, and they came over to our motorcycle club in San Diego. And this guy was so angry about losing that prospect. And I really liked that guy. He was such a cool guy. He always treated me great when I was a prospect. He treated me so wonderful. And he got so mad about losing that prospect that he pulled a gun on him in our clubhouse. Some kind of way got distracted, looked off for half a second, and that prospect pulled a gun, cut his throat, and he bled to death on the floor of our clubhouse in 2000. Angry about losing that prospect. Let him go, man. Just let him go. You gotta be able to let folks go. Let them go on, man. Go on. Go on. Practice it with me. Go on. You folks get so pissed off. You want to stop somebody from ever joining another motorcycle club ever again? Oh, you're not good enough for us. No, I just want to go on. You take it personal. You want to stop oh my God, they're hanging out with such and such. They took a picture with somebody else. They had the nerve to decide who their own friends were. Who in the hell does that? No. We gotta stop that. We gotta kill this woman and her entire family. And it would be something if your dude here or your girl here, whatever y'all call Dana Lee Rivers, whatever y'all want to call Dana Rivers that was born, Dana Lee Rivers that was born, David Chester Warfield, whatever you want to call him or her. I wish that we could say, oh my goodness, his mind was warped. He didn't know what he wanted to be. He was screwed up. He was crazy. Except that I see that in y'all too. I got text messages and stuff all over the place about how folks have decided what motorcycle club they wanted to be in or didn't want to be in as prospects and everything else. And they get hunted down. Notes left at their house and threats on their jobs, notes left on their motorcycles and crazy emails and text messages. And I can tell you literally every single day I'm getting these messages, especially about certain clubs. that this seems to be like runs like a like a a familiar river. Like Dana Rivers is not the only one. She took it a little further than most of the time, but I got plenty of people that have written me that have been beaten, hurt, run off motorcycles, run off the road, shot at, kidnapped because they made up their mind they didn't want to be in a certain motorcycle club anymore. Which lets me know that some of y'all folks are sick and you need help. You need Jesus. You need something. You need somebody. Because you're sick with this. It's not just the transsexual dude who got mad and killed a family. That would be the easy way to call it. Except for some of you non-transsexual cats, some of you regular dudes doing the same damn thing. Dangerous as a Looney Tune out here. Gonna hurt somebody because they decided to go on. Let them go, man. Let them go. The once famous trans activist goes from C-SPAN, CNN, goes from being the guest speaker here and there, part of this board, part of that board, written about in the New York Times, keynote speaker for the National Center of Lesbian Rights, keynote speaker for the Tiffany Club, keynote speaker at Berkeley and Stanford and UC Davis, board member for the International Foundation for Gender Education. Goes from all that to prisoner 693-411-279 without the possibility of parole. Now, I'm sure there's more to the story than what's reported in the newspaper. Sure that there's more to the story. There's a lot that I don't know and you don't know and we don't know. This is the story that we have. And if this story is true, man, that's crazy. But I know stories like it that are true. I know stories like it that are true. And y'all need to let it go. 40 minutes, no need to talk this to death. Just let it go. Let people go live their lives. Don't take it as a personal affront just because they don't want to live their lives with you. When people come to motorcycle clubs, we want them to be with us forever. That's just true. But sometimes people are here for a reason. Sometimes people are here for a season. And sometimes people are here for life. Let them play their role and contribute for as long as they can, and then let them go on. Have a pleasant day today, and don't take it too seriously. Live and let live, and try to find a way to stop saying I, mine, me. And you won't be in those situations because you'll be able to say we and things like that. And try to treat people individually like irreplaceable pieces of solid gold. And then you won't be able to find it within your heart to hurt anyone. Finally, it looks like the air is running out on that submarine. I can't imagine why anybody would want to get their butts inside of a little bitty submarine that didn't even have chairs in it. Yeah, being a submarine sailor, I had looked at that thing and been like, bro, there is not enough safety features on this bad boy for me to be going down 13,000 feet in it. But we do pray for those people. No one wants to be in their own coffin. And it has to be terrifying to be down there with no lights, freezing, dying slowly for a mistake you made. So we hope the best for them. We hope that they get found. I know some people saying, why the hell should I care about a billionaire? It's a human life. It's a human life. 5 of them. We pray for their recovery and being brought back. It's probably 33, it's probably like minus 33 degrees or something in that thing. So, God help them. Anyway, that's it, man. Let me hear your comments in the comment section below. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Get my books and things off Amazon. Subscribe to the Dragon's Lair Motorcycle Chaos, which is my online podcast. Go down and make sure to check out the Discord with the Discord server. URL is in the description box below. The Dragon's Lair Motorcycle Chaos is our daily online podcast, just sound only. Black Dragon Biker TV can be found on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. So go check us out. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Yeah, so that's all the stuff I need to say before I get out of here. You can get me at Black Dragon at BlackSabbathMC.com. My Twitter is JBunchII, stands for John Bunch II. JBunchII. Go there and check out my tweets. And you guys take care. Have a great day. And go do something positive. And let people go on. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospect's Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.